Hello, everybody, and welcome. I have Silicon Valley here with me tonight. We're going to just set up the game tonight, and then later in the week, I'm going to go through the actual play, but we'll talk about how the game plays and what's up with the game tonight. This is a game by Scott Almes, already successfully funded on Kickstarter. It is a Grail Games game, and it is a basically a worker action selection game where you have... I shouldn't say worker action. Well, there's some workers, but there's action selection, and you're trying to build products, and we'll take a look at all that. It draws heavily on the theme and setting of the TV show Silicon Valley, in that you are wanting to get your products out, and there are polyominoes in the game, which I like. That's what attracted me to the game. It is a game for 1 to 4 players that plays in 1 to 2 hours and is designed for ages 14 plus. So let's take a look at what we have going on here. Let's go ahead and just put this back behind us. So in Silicon Valley, in the solo mode, you are playing against an AI that's basically going to block you, but we'll take more of a look at that in a second. And if you're just joining me, thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions about the game. Let's see here. Okay, so first thing I want to show is that we do have a product, a headquarters for the AI. I'm just going to set that aside for a moment, but we'll take a look at that. And you have an AI board over here with something similar to the Automa. I don't know if you can see that well, but it has these little gears in the head where the Automa is going to be, or the AI, I think it just says AI in the book, but where the AI ends up doing some things. So I will put that down here, and we will kind of put that here. Let's see here. This does take up a good amount of space, but that is because it's a fairly big game in terms of how many things are going on. Usually you would use these player screens just on your own to hide money and what polyominoes that you have, the shapes that you have. But I use it when I'm playing solo to just keep track of what I'm doing, because it does have your round structure and your actions on here. We'll go over all that in a second, but let's get the main board out and take a look at that, and then we will set that up. And setup for the main board will be fairly similar in a multiplayer game and a solo game, in that you have let's see, can we get everything on here? Let's see. Okay, so I might have to have 2 different shots for how I do this later on, but we'll live with it for tonight. Let's see here. We can actually, we might be able to do a lot here. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Okay, cool. And we have a reminder down here. I'm going to put my headquarters over here. I'm going to turn it sideways so that we can keep it going. We have our research and development, which I'm just going to leave right here. And what the research and development is, well, you'll see we have products, and in both the multiplayer and solo mode, you're going to set up based on how many people you have playing the game. In a solo, you're going to play like you're setting up for 2-player. Hey, Rich, how are you doing tonight? Yeah, Silicon Valley, if you have questions about it. So just like in a 2-player game, you're going to take these. They are hard to see. I wonder if they're going to do a different color or different thing like that. But there is a difference between the starting ones and the ones that are just normal ones for products. And you shuffle them, and there are spaces on the board. You don't use these last 2 unless you're playing 3-player and 4-player. But otherwise, you shuffle these up, place them out here, and like this is a next gen gaming system, and then consumer drones. Let's see what we got next. Mass production LEDs, and then finally portable chargers. So once those are out, you can put the remaining starting ones away, and then we grab, I'll go over here and grab these, and we grab the matching tiles, and all both the starting ones and the regular products have these, but you have And this is really the heart of the game. What's going on with it? You have these things that represent your when you do the research and development on these. So like if I were to do the next gaming system like I did here, I would put out the innovator tile, and this has an A side and a B side that's shown in the bottom left corner here. And then I put that out on the A side up right underneath that. And then we're just going to find. So basically, you get different kinds of bonuses for when you make the product. If you're a second mover, you're not going to get as much valuation, maybe long term for your company, or you might get more if you do it at the right time. But on each of these, let me see if I can zoom in here properly. Okay, on each of these, you have an immediate bonus. So like this has 3 valuation and 5 money that you would get. And then on every upkeep, you're going to get 3 money. It also has these symbols down here, which affect how you can recruit people into your company. But that goes down here. So depending on when you want to like basically poach the technology, then you're going to get different things for those. So we will continue setting up the board with those. So like we need to find consumer drones here. And here's the innovator one for that. This one has no valuation and no money immediately, which is interesting, but ongoing it gives you 3 valuation, which is really good if you can keep people from getting the second mover. Because what's the second mover going to do? Well, the second mover is going to switch that A side to the B side, where you're just going to get $1, which is not very good. So you might want to sunset your technology, and if you do that, then you lose 1 valuation of your company. The whole goal of the entire game is to get your company to be worth $1 billion, and the movement on the valuation track up here isn't sequential. Like I don't know if you can see it well or not, but it's like 1 million over here, 2 million, and then it goes by ones to here, and then it goes 10, 20. Up to 100 here, and then from 100 to $1 billion, it's going by hundreds. So let me find the other tiles to place out here, and then we'll talk about employees. There's that. And, well, there's our LEDs, and all we have left, I have the LEDs underneath. All we have left to do is the portable chargers. So there are some differences in setup in terms of like which products come out each time, but overall they're going to be the same in terms of how many you put out, and that you do the same basic thing up here. So that is the beginning setup for products, and then we get our employees. So with employees, there's 2 different types of employees technically, and you can see that on the back here. So let me zoom in. The employees, you have either founders, which look red, but they have the same symbol in the middle here, or blue with the same symbol. And with the founders, you pass these out, give 2 to everybody, and then they get to pick one. I'm just going to say that, let's see. So this one would give me 4 shapes, and then ongoing 1 little tiny one. This one would give me 3 shapes, 1 little tiny one. They cost the same. This up here in the right hand corner is their cost to pay them when you have to pay salary during upkeep. Let's say I keep this one because maybe I like the ongoing benefit better there. So I have 1 employee out of, let me go back here and show you, out of a possible 3 at my headquarters. My headquarters can support 3 right now. That's what that symbol at the bottom down there is that matches the back of the cards. So I would just discard that. But actually what I'm going to do with this one is, let's say I had shuffled more. I'm going to give it to the AI because we do have to deal with the AI in a minute. So we'll do that. Get rid of the rest of the founders. We don't need those anymore. And then shuffle up our employee deck. And then we're going to put out because I am limited on space here, but we're going to put out our employees. Yeah, let's do a little more shuffling just to get some difference there. And below these employees, this is the cost. Well, I'm just going to do that just to, oh man, I promise I did shuffle these before. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to grab some randoms. The cost to hire each employee is below here. So if I wanted to hire this employee, it would cost me 7. And we'll zoom in on that so you can see that. But so 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. But remember these symbols up here. And then also I have some in my starting company. So like here I have technology and work-life balance is what that one means. If I have those symbols showing, and then let's say I wanted to hire this employee because I really like the fact that they give me ongoing these 2 polyominoes. Well, it would cost me 8, but I can subtract 1 because it has a matching symbol here. So I could do that. This one would cost me 4 because it has a matching symbol to my headquarters, and I can get discounts like that throughout the game. Okay, so our employees are out. The next thing we're going to do is talk about headquarters cards. I guess I could, I'm not going to, obviously these should all be sorted. I'm not going to sort that all on camera right now because nobody needs to watch that. That's boring. But I'm going to talk about headquarters. So the only thing you should know about these is one of the actions you can take on your turn is you can grab the little 2 code polyomino for a cost of 1. You can grab the 3s for a cost of 2, and all the different 4s, and that's shown on here, can be bought for a cost of 3. So that's where they go. They do get sorted out. And actually, I'll have it sorted when I play later on stream, but I'm not going to sort it right now for setup. So the headquarters cards are going to do a couple things. First, they're going to add more of those symbols that we talked about. Second, they're going to add the ability to hire more employees beyond your initial limit. So like this one would let me hire 1 employee. And then finally here, I have an upkeep cost. Well, actually, that's not even the final thing, but there's an upkeep cost for this part, adding this onto my headquarters of 2. And then the other thing is when I add it onto my headquarters, now I have more room in my company for products so I'm going to have to figure out how to make this all look right. But let's say I had this next gen gaming system and I had made that product. That tile goes there. You see how that fits? There's kind of a rectangle that fits there. And then if I get another product later on, I have to have room where that column matches up. If that doesn't match up, then I don't have room in my headquarters to research and develop these products more. So that's how the headquarters work. That's what's going on with those cards, is that you have to add on to your headquarters to get more employees, to get more products, and do the research and development that you need. So you again shuffle those and put some of them out here. And somebody is texting me. And then we have our headquarter deck. Actually, that should be face down. Headquarter deck will be down there then. And then we have over here our VC deck, or venture capitalist deck. Our VC deck is kind of a fun thing in terms of what's going on there. Now, again, these, just like employees, can be reduced. That's why they're yellow here. So if you have, let's say I had 2 technology symbols in my headquarters, then this would cost me 2 less. And the cost on these is different than money. The cost on these is, if you can see, the cost is how much code you have to pay. So that's one thing that you're going to use code for. We haven't really talked about it with products yet, but that's one thing that you're going to use it for. So if I had, let's say I had 2 of these 3 pieces like this, I could buy, I could use that code to pay for this venture capital card, and assuming I didn't need to reduce it. There's no change given though either. So if this is all the code I have, I would have to pay it. But pay it, immediately get $20, and then if I fulfill the requirements on the right, I would gain that. This is gain $5 for each tech symbol showing, blue tech symbol showing in your company. So that would be a good one for me to have because it would cost less for me to get it, less code, and it would also give me money back right away. So you shuffle those up. Do the same thing as you do with the headquarters cards. They go right over here in the VC spots. Normally in a multiplayer game, you would also have turn order. And there's a turn order token, but we don't worry about that in the single player game. You do put out, though, your valuation token, and that starts at the start. Don't worry about that for the AI, but you do have some other tokens that we will start putting out and talking about. And did I do that? Yeah, I did that right. Okay, cool. You have these black cubes and this other token here. Let's see here. So first of all, you have only 7 rounds to get to $1 billion in the solo game. So you put this this little token here over onto the round tracker. You put these out to here. These on each one of the starting spaces for these different symbols. Why do the symbols matter? Well, in the solo, like I said, it's going to be doing some blocking, but it's also going to be, I got to check my texts because somebody keeps texting me a lot. Okay. So the way that you set up the difficulty of the solo is there are these AI cards. They have a little brain on the back. They're all the same on the back, which is, again, this is prototype, so they might change this for the final. I don't know. But on the front side, and I guess that's one way you could do it, is you could just shuffle them together and put them out. But the front side, they have red and blue. And for easy, and it's not that easy, at least I haven't locked into the right way to do it yet. But for easy, you just add 1 red and then 4 blue out here, over here, over in here. And what those do, well, let's see. Okay, so let's say I take one of these reds and we'll mix it in with, oh, that's why they need to have the same backing. Because you do, yeah, I guess you have to do it that way. Because you shuffle them up. So I'm going to take 4 blues and shuffle them all up because I don't know where this is going to land. They're each going to land on one of these symbols here. That one is in, I forget what they call it. It's like balanced life, you know, someone meditating. And then this is, well, this is vacation time. This is technology. This is work-life balance. And then you have a chance for going up in the company. And so with all that, when symbols are revealed, so we take a look at our headquarters that the AI got here. When those were revealed, then it goes down 1 and on that one. And then at the other end here, we have this climbing the corporate ladder thing here. So it's going to go down there because as you play the game, and then we can just get rid of that. It doesn't need the corporate headquarters anymore after that. But as you play the game, when these get lowered by the AI taking VC cards and headquarter cards and tiles out here, and because it's going to do those sorts of blocking things, and when it's doing those, it's going to push these cubes down, and then it will take these actions too. And these actions aren't great. Like let's just see what this red one is. It says the rival takes any 2 mover tiles still available. Remove the tiles from the board. The player must also flip over any innovator tiles they have to the B side. So it takes any second mover tiles that are available and then remove the tiles from the board. Wow, that would be That would be terrible because it's going to get all those things to kick off too. All those symbols are going to kick off. And plus it's going to make you flip over your innovator. So not looking forward to that. I might actually give myself an easier card before I play on stream, because playing and doing it, that's a difficult card. Anyways, so that's that. The other thing we do is we take that founder and we give the code that is shown on there, all the code, not just the ongoing code, but the immediate code and the ongoing code, both, and we put it on their board. Why do we put it on their board? Well, this is the thing that we didn't talk about earlier. That is the thing that kind of keeps it all together. And that is that as you get code, so let's say I hire an employee, and the first player, and in solo, just the only player, gets $30. So as you hire people, do all that. So I'm going to take 10. Let's see here. 20. 30. Okay, so I have 30. Let's say I hire somebody. So I hire somebody and I get some code. Once I get that code, then I get to start planning. And that's what your research and development board is for, so that you can then build these products using the code. So like to do this one, I would have to have maybe, let's pretend I have gone through and I actually have all this code ready and available. So I take this code that I have learned and I apply it to making, and I know it's hard to see, but there is a contrast there. So I apply it to making this shape here that fills in this product. Now I'm going to make this product. Now I immediately get the innovator product, and it adds, and I would get one valuation immediately and $10. And then as long as I haven't flipped this to the B side, whenever we get to upkeep, yeah, because that B side isn't great, but whenever we get to upkeep, I get 2 valuation and 2 money, as well as those symbols on both sides are now added to my company. Again, I can sunset a product, but if I do, I lose valuation. So let's say I had taken that one though. I get the product in my company and I get to immediately get 1 valuation and $10. Of course, I probably wouldn't have that amount of code without having at least one more employee. And again, one of the actions can be to buy code out here too. So there is all that. So the things that you can do on your turn are hire or poach an employee. Poaching an employee is taking it from somebody else. So the AI is going to get employees too, because it's basically going to move. Let me see. I forget where those start at. The AI is going to start there and there. Oh, that's right. That's right. There and there. So it's going to start here and here. And it has this deck of how it moves through. So let's say I flipped this one. And when I flip this one, what the AI would do would be move 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. And then it would get this card and get all these. So like it would take vacation would go down, work-life balance would go down, climbing the corporate ladder would go down, and the tech one would go down, all on that board. So it's getting closer to taking those actions. Then it gets the code that's shown on there. Why does it get code? Again, if it can make these just by sheer number, having enough to fill it in and no change given, then it gets to make the products too. It's definitely messing you up a lot. So it's blocking you, it's messing you up, it's taking actions, it's taking stuff you want on the board, but it's doing it mindlessly. So if you can take your actions quickly and get to the things you want quickly, you're going to do okay. It's still a difficult game to battle against. So it really is a puzzle. Let's see. Did I go over it? Oh, actions. So hiring and poaching an employee. Why did I go back to the AI? You can still, even when the AI gets an employee, you can still take that employee and poach it back for $15, and you get to use your discount of any symbols you have showing. Second thing is you can expand your headquarters. We already talked about that. That's just making your headquarters bigger. You can acquire venture capital funding. You can outsource tech. That's just buying the tech out here on the board for 1, 2, or 3 for the 2, the 3, or the 4 size is. And again, maybe I should just show that there. There it is. Next thing you can do is launch a product. That's just having the code to be able to build the product and share it with people, right? And then sunsetting a product, that's when you take it off of your board, it's out of the game, and you lose 1 valuation of your company. And finally, you can perform layoffs. You can lay off people too, because at the during the operation, you have upkeep, and if you can't afford people, you might want to lay off people. When you lay off people, you are also going to suffer some contact. I think you lose a valuation for that too. I forget. I didn't lay off people that often. Maybe I should have been doing that more often. Maybe I'm too nice in this game. That is possible. Perform layoffs. Yep, it does cost a valuation too. So you can lay off people, but it's still going to cost your company because, you know, people see that your company's laying off people and that public perception has changed. So you're sunsetting products, laying off people, doing all that balance back and forth of trying to have enough money coming in to build the products, having enough code to build the products, and being either the first one to come up with that product, or maybe sometimes like this one with the second mover. This one gives you on the consumer drone, it gives you 4 valuation. That's pretty great. 1, 2, 3, 4. It might be better to be the second mover. So you want to hit those things at the right time of learning from your competitor and growing. And on that note, we'll just go to what operation companies operating are. Is you collect any ongoing benefits, like that money from those products that you have going out, and that's the infinity symbol. You're going to get that ongoing money, and any valuation, that's just a V. And then you pay for upkeep, starting with your headquarters and then going to your employees. And if you can't pay for them, you are forced to lay them off, but it's going to cost you double. And also, there is an upkeep cost with your, I never had a problem having enough code for this, but there is an upkeep cost on your products too. So like on this next gen gaming system, it costs 1 code to keep it going. If you don't have that 1 code, when it comes time for upkeep, you're going to lose that product, and you're going to lose 2 valuations. So it's an ongoing thing of keeping track of where everything out is at. So that's the basics of Silicon Valley. That's what's going on in the game. I'll make it look a little bit prettier. We'll get all this set up, and I'll probably be back probably for Coffee and Games this week. Saturday at 11 is probably what time I'll be streaming an actual gameplay of this. I enjoy the game. I've been liking the puzzle, both the mini puzzle of making the products and the puzzle of figuring out how and when to build which products so that my valuation can go up. Hope that explanation and setup made sense. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for stopping by. And let me know if you have questions later on. Silicon Valley by Scott Almes and published by Grail Games, coming out probably 2023. Yeah, and on that note, these are prototype components. These are not necessarily final components. So, have a good evening.